Thank you very much for coming today. My name is Barry W. Lynn. I am the Executive Director of the organization Americans United for Separation of Church and State. One of the central values of our Constitution is equal treatment among religions. There can be no hierarchy of faiths as far as the government is concerned. Where citizens worship and how they relate to the divine, or indeed whether they relate to the divine at all, should be of no concern to the state. The principle of equal treatment is generally respected in our federal government system. Sadly, one area where problems remain is the Department of Veterans Affairs. It has recognized 38 different religious and philosophical symbols for use on memorials for deceased veterans. Yet it adamantly refuses to recognize the symbol of Wicca, a religion followed by hundreds of thousands of Americans and several thousand active duty personnel in the U.S. military today. The Veterans Administration's refusal to recognize the pentacle, a five-pointed star within a circle, as a valid religious symbol has direct and serious consequences for adherents of the Wiccan faith. If a Wiccan soldier is killed in action, the families of that soldier are unable to have the pentacle added to his or her gravestone or memorial plaque or marker at a government cemetery or memorial. With us today is Roberta Stewart, and you will hear from her shortly. Roberta's husband, Sergeant Patrick Stewart, died on September the 25th, 2005, along with 4 other crew members, when their Chinook helicopter was destroyed by a rocket-propelled grenade over Afghanistan. Sergeant Stewart was only 34 when he died. He was a hero, and he died in service to his country. His memory should be honored in a fitting way, yet that is not what has happened. If you visit the Northern Nevada Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Fernley, Nevada, you will see a blank space on the wall of heroes where his plaque should be. Sergeant Stewart was a member of the Wiccan faith, yet the Veterans Administration refuses to allow the pentacle to appear on his plaque. Hence, the space remains blank. The VA's stubbornness on this matter is truly mystifying to me. For several months now, Americans United has been engaged in a dialogue with the VA, urging them to add the pentacle to their list of approved religious symbols. These discussions, unfortunately, have not been fruitful. They have given us convoluted explanations about their rulemaking, but no coherent reasoning about why action has not been taken. The VA is clearly dragging its feet, and that's why today we are filing litigation to compel the agency to act. Our legal action seeks a reaffirmation of the principle of religious equality by government. Members of the Wiccan faith are not seeking anything that is not already available and extended to millions of Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, humanists, atheists, and members of other faith traditions and philosophies. No one can say that Wiccan leaders have not been patient or that they've rushed into court at a slight provocation. Indeed, they've been more patient than most of us would have been under these circumstances. There is a time for patience. There's also a time for action. Having pursued the former course, today we act. This litigation may be a dramatic step, but it's one we are convinced is absolutely necessary. The VA, it seems, has no intention on acting on the reasonable request made by a group of people who have abided by every rule, who have crossed every T and dotted every I. Religious liberty is a core value in American life. When the framers of our Constitution wrote the provision guaranteeing the free exercise of religion, they did not add a parenthetical phrase reading, "except for Wiccans." They did not say that religious freedom applies only to large and powerful religions. They did not restrict religious liberty to groups with whom everyone is familiar. The terrible irony is that Sergeant Stewart died in service to his country and to its ideals. One of those ideals is religious freedom for everyone, and it has been denied to his family, the family left behind. It is supremely disturbing that the Department of Veterans Affairs does not recognize the injustice to which they have subjected his widow and family. Having unsuccessfully pursued every other option, we are left today to turn to the courts. Richard Katsky, the Associate Legal Director of Americans United, who will lead our legal team, is also here to fill you in shortly on the specific steps we've taken. To properly honor Sergeant Stewart's memory, we must acknowledge the role the Wiccan faith played in his life. If we fail to do that, if we do not stand up for a measure of justice in his memory, we make a mockery of the freedoms we claim to hold dear. We will not allow that to happen to Sergeant Patrick Stewart or to all those who come after him seeking the decent respect of their own government. Our lawsuit today hopes to accomplish that goal. Let me turn this over to Roberta Stewart.